Hey guys, it is Sunday, May 14th, and it is Mother's Day, so to all you mothers out there who are watching this, if you are, happy Mother's Day. I figured that this part of the vlog is going to be maybe a little longer in the talk-wise, because I thought it's about time to share a little bit about my mother, who passed when I was 18 years old. And I'm not going to go give a whole bunch of details, like where we were at, for example. But I want to talk about my mother a little bit, talk a little bit about her death, in as private a way as possible. I want to just remember her a little bit in this video. And there's some things I am probably going to get wrong. If I do in the talking part of the vlog, I will edit it in the vlog itself. But my mother was born in the 50s, I believe. I don't know whether it was 52 or what. Or 54. It may have been 54, actually. My brain, I'll put whatever it is there. But she was born... My memory is so bad, that I forget her actual birth date, but I know it was in 54. November. I think it was November, now that I think about it. But, as I told you, she had passed away when I was 18, and the reason for it is that she had type 2 diabetes. It ran in the family. My grandfather, her father, had it. And again, you guys will probably thinking, well, you eat a lot. Aren't you at risk as well for it? Yes, I am at high risk for it, but so far, thank God, any test I took was negative. We knew for years that my mother, her name, we'll just say, I'll give her the first name, was Patsy. I think Patsy was just Patsy, not short for anything. She was diagnosed with diabetes at the age of 23, which is younger than I am now. So she, for years, had it. And we figured that Mom was going to pass at a certain time eventually, because of how bad her diabetes was. I might insert a picture there of her. She had to get her legs amputated. She was in a wheelchair since I was 11 years old. So, for a while, it was sort of expected. But, especially from the older individuals, or the individuals that fully understood what she was going through. Like my Aunt Kathy, my Aunt Janet, my father, who I might get into for Father's Day, but we'll say his name was Peter. Yeah, I know, double P's and I'm an H. Yeah, we'll not go to that. But we all knew for a while that she was sick, but for the older adults who knew at the time, they knew the full extent of it. I knew she was sick, but sometimes, I saw her, I knew she was sick. But I never really took that all into consideration. Now, I'm not going to get this into a really bad thing. I want to remember positives, too, about her. And want you guys to know positives about her. And when I say this, I'm not saying this in the worst possible way. She was stubborn. Though she was sick, she was stubborn. You would think, well, so you would ask if I had a one-story house or a elevator or something. No, we had a 2-story house like I do here now. And there was no accommodated way, really. Well, I don't know if it was always like that, but there was a different part of the stairs. I think. I cannot remember. It was a while since I lived there, 6 years almost. But my mother, every night, if she had to go upstairs, to the bathroom, there was only one bathroom. Oh no, there was 2, never mind, sorry. See, there's only one bathroom here and I'm used to it. But anyway, at night, the bedroom was upstairs. So she every night would climb up the stairs, you know, even without legs. Like, you guys know what I would mean. I don't want to make it sound too demeaning either. But she would make herself go upstairs. She thought everything. And I will admit we had argued, sort of how my aunt and I do sometimes. I was a stubborn person too, and I don't know whether it's just me or I get it from Mom, or get it from both. But most of the time she was, like, right, but we would have our arguing moments. But most of that was me. But she knew how to win an argument. Like, for what the hand she was dealt, she thought. Like, she never made it to my graduation, and she figured she wouldn't. But anyway, she died on October 11th, 2009. And ironically, my birthday is October 10th, 1991. So she died the day after I turned 18. I'm not given the information of where she died, like the actual place, but she died in a hotel room. Now you guys are thinking, were you guys, like, even though it may sound distasteful, you guys are probably thinking, were you guys checked for murder? Or, you know, like, whatever. Yeah, we were talked to. We were investigated. Well, briefly, very briefly. Like, it had to rule it out. I was with my best friend at the time. We'll call her just Karen. You know, I'm going to leave her name private. Like, she's the one who told me my mother passed. We'll just say it was from a heart attack. And it's just the way it happened. She slipped away. But I do remember that my father was yelling, Patsy, like, trying to wake to get her up. And I was woken up to that. It was like, what? Early in the morning. Or in the middle of the night, and I can't remember. It may have been like night, but morning. I don't remember the time exactly. But what I remember is we sort of ended on a very good note. Like, not that I expected any, like, the thing is, we knew it would happen some point. And I remember my aunt was called my other aunt. And, like, thing is, it was my birthday weekend. That's why we were at a hotel. And she was like to my aunt that I'm very happy. We all had, like, the girls with me, Karen, all had a good time, but she's tired. That's what, like, my Aunt Janet, who's my mother's sister. My Aunt Kathy is chosen sister, just to get that correct. Like, she was telling me how happy she was to see me, that I got everything I wanted. But she just, like, she was tired. And originally they were going to go to bingo or something. I don't know what it was. But we ended up going to the mall instead, and she was just happy that I was happy. And I said, like, I know I'm getting a little personal, but I am trying to remember her and share with her. Like, yes, I know I had argued a lot with my mother, but I want you to know I do and did and still do have the utmost respect for her. Like, I don't know who could handle me the way they do. Like, I mean, my Aunt Kathy is doing pretty well, but my mother pushed me as far as she could. Like, she knew I had some complex needs in some ways, but she wouldn't let that be an excuse. She would always push me if she knew I could do better. And I am truly thankful for that. Just to bring this up while I am talking about it, like, and I can't say this is the only thing as if it's a really bad thing, because it is good too, But she did also have trouble accepting if I had any other problems. I mean, she would have accepted if I did, but if she could, she didn't want to push it any further. When I was, as I said, I may have said it, when I was 7 years old, I was evaluated for the autism spectrum disorder, but at that time it was autism, and Williams syndrome. If those who don't know what Williams syndrome is, it is hard to explain. I know a lot more about autism than I do about Williams syndrome. But I know, one, that they're very attracted to music, like they're drawn to it, and they're over friendly, where stranger danger could be an issue. Those were two traits. And point being is, I was not diagnosed with either. My mother didn't push it any further, because she wanted me to do the best that I could and be as normal as possible. Now, some of you might think, well, like, is that, like, nowadays, isn't that kind of a bad thing? She would have accepted me. Like, let's say I was diagnosed on the spectrum, she would have loved me anyway. That is, like, when I say that, that's not what I meant. But if she could have me learn things as normal as possible, she would. And I am grateful for that. Sometimes I wonder if I would have done better with my anxiety and that if she had still been alive today. Because, like, in a sense, everyone pushes me. They try to, but they just don't. When I say they don't try, I mean they don't push to a degree. They let me handle things the way I do, and I do appreciate that too. And I prefer that, but my mother would not. And when I say all this, I don't look at her in a negative light. Some people would say, oh, thank God for your mother. She truly believed you could do anything, and that's the way I want her to be seen as. She never let her be in, what do they call it? She didn't let her diabetes and her being amputated, like her lack of legs, stop her. She was sick, but she didn't let that be an excuse. She was wanting the same thing for me, even though my problems were more mental than physical. And sometimes I wish I had as much strength and motivation and everything that she had, except for her illness. I would not wish that or would want that on anyone. But that she was able to push through that illness as far as she could. But she did too know her expectations, like how far was too much. As of today, I wanted this vlog to be morally about Mom and how she pushed me and all she could. And yes, she may have had moments where she may have been a little protective, but that was all for the best. Like, despite me being argumentative with a lot of people, I do appreciate what they do for me. I just don't always say it. And you're probably thinking, well, are you going to say something about your other aunts? Then yeah, I am. A little bit before I end it. My aunts, Kathy and Janet, always did what they thought was right by Mom. Like, they were literally best friends. Well, Kathy and Mom were anyway, and I know Janet loved Mom. She was her sister. But there was like an 8-year difference almost with them. So obviously there'd be things that, when they were younger, they wouldn't all do together. Kathy and Mom were like months in difference. So they were like sisters, literally like same age sisters in a way. Kathy lived with my grandfather and Mom, like my Mom's family, for a while. And she always did what was right by Mom. She knew, like it's hard to explain. Yes, sometimes I say that feels like she doesn't understand, but for me, I am hard to understand. Sometimes I don't even know me. As silly as that sounds, like you not knowing yourself, people say the best person to know you is you. I get just as confused. Like, imagine you're trying to tell something to someone, and you think you have it all there, but then you're confused. And then you try to say, oh, well, this is the... If that all sounds wrong to you, how does it sound to them? So I can understand that things sound like jumbled, maybe not literally jumbled, inconsistent. Because when I say that, it's not that I'm lying. At a time, it's true. But it may not be whole. True, but not whole. Like, that's why I definitely want to see someone to get all that out of the way. And with my Aunt Janet, she always wants to do the best she can with whoever. Like, my Aunt Janet does, get me. But she also gets Kathy. And she always, she got Mom, too. She tries her best to understand everyone's point of view. She doesn't 100% sympathize with anyone. Well, she more sympathizes with all of us. Like if I'm saying something, if I'm in a mood, she'll say, okay, yes, I get what you're feeling, but Kathy might have trouble with this, for example. She'll say, yes, you are sort of right, but Kathy is also too. Or that you should maybe try to do a little this, or she'll sometimes even just listen, but she will understand Kathy's point too. She does everything for everyone. And it's hard that she's, out of her siblings, is the last one left. She was the middle child. As I said, middle child syndrome. In my father's side, I have an uncle who is the middle child, who is also the only surviving of of that family. So it happens. But, I mean, a lot of us cannot picture something happening to Janet. It'll happen someday, just with everyone, but, it's hard to picture. She's 70s now. She's, just 70. And something just went off. I don't know what it was. Anyway, my point is that all three of these women were very important to me. And so were my grandmothers. My mother's mother died when I was 15. But she would also always ask if I was okay if Mom and I had an argument. She would always, maybe understand Mom too, but she would just see if I was alright. Because, she was that type of person. But she also could mouth off, the rest of people. She was the type of person that is very sympathetic, but you don't cross her. In a real bad way. And no, I'm not talking about Mafia style. Don't think that the wrong way. But she wasn't afraid to give you a piece of her mind, if you had to. So she was the middle in that way. I think Janet got her generosity from her. And my father's mother, she was a sweet, passionate person, but she also had her stubborn personality, especially in her younger years. She had dementia, or she had Alzheimer's. I cannot remember. It may have been Alzheimer's, but people also said dementia. But when she died, it was in her middle stage of it, or very early. Because when she died, she remembered everyone. She just died of health failure. But, as I said, I loved my grandmother. And it would be nice to have her longer. Everyone longer, actually. But I wouldn't want her to suffer. Imagine if she had lived longer. She may have forgotten everyone. And we all would have had to go through that, too. And also, she would have to go through burying another child. She already had to bury my uncle, who is the oldest and with Down syndrome. Imagine if she had to bury her youngest son, which was my father. She tried to hold it together for everyone. There was a time where it was mentioned she wasn't so good with special needs or whatever, but once my Uncle Billy was born, which is the individual with Down syndrome, she quickened her tune. And she loved everyone as much as she could. Like, I wanted this part of the vlog, which is very long, to be just talking about my mother and grandparents. But before I go, there is one other grandmother I have, Eve. She is my grandmother, step-grandmother. She was my grandfather's second marriage. But she, I can proudly say, is one person who, I'm trying to think of how to explain it. She is one step family member that I can say really deserves and really fits in where she is. I don't know if I've told you that I had a stepmother. I never lived with her as a stepmother, but she was my father's second wife, and I did not like her at all. I'm not talking about Eve right now. I'm talking about this other woman. She tarnished our last name. Like my father's last name. Even Eve, that's one thing Eve said. She was who a real good step family member should be. She loved everyone as her own. She went right by everyone. She was like to my father before he died. I hope Haley is taken care of. Like, don't let her not be taken care of. I mean, my uncle is another person that I said got the step right. Like, that'll be for later. But Eve is like a wonderful woman. And I really should make more time for her. She's my only grandparent left. And yes, even though she's a step, she's my grandmother. It's no different. Just like with my uncle. He's married to Janet, but he's still my uncle. Like, I don't see him any different and never did. Like, even, like some of the older grandkids of my aunt, like, know he's uncle through marriage, or grandfather from marriage. But they say through marriage. Like, for me, yes, but he was there since they were born. That still shouldn't be any different. And they love him, though, other than, but they're aware of how they're related. To me, it was a while before I found out. Like, I didn't see it any different because he was, he was with my aunt before I was born. But he was married shortly after. But he still, to me, was my uncle. And still is. Point is, Eve is who a good new second marriage should be. Not my former stepmother. Like, not some of those bad stepmothers that you would see in Cinderella, for example. She was the good step-grandmother, but stepmother. So anyway, guys, happy Mother's Day. I know this was really long, I apologize, but I just wanted to make this meaningful. And I will see you in the next clip. Hey, guys, it is Monday, May 15th, and tomorrow, I guess, is the official release of the new Game Pack trailer. Finally. But we got a little teaser of that trailer. Now, I'm not going to show you, obviously, because copyright issues. It was 9 seconds, but even 9 seconds can go. And I can't say, I have a from what I see so far, obviously I gotta see the actual trailer to know, but from what I see so far, it looks promising. But at the same time, I don't want to get my hopes up to it being what I mean, or what I want. Well, apparently, in this new game pack, there's going to be a new skill. Can anyone guess? Parenting! So I was like, I swear they've read my mind or watched my video in the last 2 days. And just said, oh, well, we'll just do a little tweak here. No. Seriously, the games take a while to develop anyway. So they can't just throw something in like a very short amount of time. But as I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned in my video about 4 things I wanted in The Sims 4, but I said things can change. These ones I wasn't very sure of would change, and I don't know how this new parenting skill is going to affect the game any. But if it's a parenting skill, let's hope it doesn't just apply to the toddlers, and that it actually applies to the older generations too, like the kids. Like, even if they only applied it to the kids right now, that would be good, a good start. Like, we'll just say the little teaser was really funny. It showed a toddler in it, so maybe a big amount of it is toddlers, maybe. But it showed a toddler playing, I think it was with ketchup, or I don't know what, some type of sauce. Anyway, it thrown it around, like, the place. And the father, or the adult male sim, was just all, like, disapproving. Right? So it's like a tisk, tisk, tisk type of thing. But at least they noticed. That's the thing. At least they noticed, like, on their own. And then it shows them later wiping up the mess while the kid's in the high chair. And what was so cute was like, the music played during that whole teaser trailer, and that's probably going to be played partly in the regular trailer too. Like, the ending of the music and the was just right on cue. Like, I'm sorry, that was like, I had to rewatch that 5 or 6 times, because that was just so funny. Like, it's like they're trying to make a comedy out of this game, Pat. Like, okay, like they say there's a parenting skill. You could shape your Sim's childhood. Let's hope it means their teenhood too. Let's just hope that parents will react to things like, oh, if they skip school, or oh, if they're out after a certain time. Like, maybe police might not, but something, like, at least something is coming around. I mean, it's a shame it wasn't added earlier, but something is coming from it. So, but I just laughed and it said shape your parent skills, your parenting skills. Like, maybe a parent skills is a skill itself, but it could be just a saying too. They might have more emotions, or automatic, or autonomous or whatever with children and kids and toddlers. But I'm sorry, I can't get over that cute little, like, the way the music in the child's like, okay, it's not literally the way I'm saying it, but it's a lot cuter than the way I'm saying it, believe me. Like, if I can find a thing below, you might see it, where the teaser was. But it was just kind of perfect, right? Just like, yeah, the kid thinks they get their own way, but then again, he did have a plate of food. So, kid, that's what you do. You squirt things everywhere just to get food. Because, I mean, the kid sounded like, it didn't sound like the kid was whining. It didn't look like the kid was unhappy with being in the high chair with a plate of food. So, well, I don't know. I might have to rewatch it. Yeah, I know, another excuse just to rewatch it, but to see what that noise meant, whether it was yay or a type of situation, but literally, even without the earphones in, like, I don't often wear earphones anymore at home because it doesn't work. I could hear it right out of this toddler Sim's mouth. Like, sorry, it was just the cutest thing I ever heard or seen, like, a reaction from something. And the parent action. Then again, a lot of Sims tend to clean up messes, especially if they have a certain trait that are tidy. But I don't know if that's just a reaction to what the kid did, or is it just, oh, whatever, it's a mess. Like, I don't know. But I still thought it was funny when the Sim's head was, it's like, actually acknowledging they did something wrong. Like, I mean, even, like, I can't remember. Like, very rare I've seen, like, even in these even without this game pack, I've seen occasional scolding to toddlers if they, like, play in the toilet. Right? Or not, Well, that or if they hit, like if they're direct to them, for example, they'll be scalded for it. But other than that, like, and you could choose to scold, right? And I don't know why I don't sometimes, but just, I like to see the reaction on their own, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm just excited. Let's just hope there was a reason to be excited. Like, let's hope that this changes the gameplay. Even though I still like it the way it is too. Like, I can just go around and play, and I do. Like, I always do baby challenges from then and now, and try to get a lot of money by, having people move in, and just having all this fun stuff and building my own house. Like, I'm doing better. I'm trying to learn to build houses more competently. It's not very good still, though, but I'm trying to learn to use the tools properly. And, like, the thing is, I don't have that architect, or what is it, architect? Is that what they call it? I don't have that type of mindset. And for me, if I ever was paid to build a house or do a outline for the house, I probably would also be sent to court for having an accident happen, for my house not being built properly and it all fall down on people. Yeah, we'll just say it's good I'm not a real architect. Or no, not an what is it? Like, you kind of get what I mean. That I don't build houses or plan house designs. Like, I'd be in trouble. Because I wouldn't know where to put the proper thing where. I might leave a screw out. I don't even know if they need screws. Like, that's the thing. I would just use a hammer and a nail. Enjoy your house? I know. It's getting a little crazy here, but I'm just proving my point. Like, I'd be lucky, like, the Sims are able to live in the houses I built. They're like, it's a little off, not so luxurious, but it's home. So if you find us dead the next day, it's our God's fault. Okay, I know. Like, people sometimes tease that they play God when they're playing The Sims or whatever. Or they'd be like, why didn't you just move us into a pre-built lot? You had to risk our lives by putting in the wrong area. I know, I'm crazy. I guess I'm kind of excited that tomorrow is the day that the trailer's going to be released. Yet I'm half dreading when the release date is. All I know is it could be the week before, or after, or it could be 2 weeks or more from now, in June. And then be, oh wow, did you enjoy your game pack? Here's an item pack. But then again, they have until June 21st. Well, I'm teasing because they say that it's going to come out spring. And I guess spring is until June 21st, is what my aunt told me. So I said, well, they have until June 21st. If it's after that, well, you have 2 summer packs. What are you going to do now? I know. Is that just a little, what do they call it, cray-cray? Anyway, guys, I just thought I would tell you I'm just super excited, and I still can't get over that teaser trailer. Like, the music that was playing was like an accordion-style music, and like it sounded more comical than anything. I suppose what the toddler was doing was considered funny in a way, but the toddler going, eh. Anyway, guys, I will see you guys in the next clip. Hey, guys, it is Tuesday, May 16th, and I didn't go to work today. I said last night I just felt like, so I decided to take, a me day. But anyway, the announcement for the new game pack came out, and it is called The Sims 4 Parenthood. Well, the name, I guess, is okay, but pretty much what it's saying is that you can build memories with your Sims, you can shape your parenting, and shape the childhood by how your parenting is. So, sort of what I asked for, and one of the things I asked for in this in the 4 things I want in the Sims 4 thing. But I haven't, it's released on the 30th of May, so a few more weeks. So I don't know for sure if it is what I've asked for. Because I don't know with the AI, how that's going to work out. But I'm hoping that it'll work pretty well, because it showed parents scolding teenagers. So scalding is at least a thing. I don't know about grounding or like what options are available for it. But it also showed that there was plenty of like activities like building a rocket and everything for the family to do together. And it showed in one of the trailers, like I can't show you the trailer because of copyright reasons, but it showed like the family sitting for dinner and one sim, the child sim, burping, and then it showed the different reactions, and then the toddler laughing, and then the whole family laughing. So like I don't like obviously that was played out. I'm pretty sure, but like I think you could choose on how to react to it, or depending on your personality and who you are. Like it's interesting. It looks like an interesting game pack, and it's released on the 30th, so I'll see how I feel about it by then. Like, it looks like there could be more put into it, but I never actually played it, so I don't know. Like, I wouldn't know how realistic or whatever it is. Like, it showed different scenarios, though, like one child crying and the father telling her, like, to, like, he did, like, that, like, indicating for her to take a deep breath, and she did that, and then they both laughed. Like, it showed, like, different ways to help a child cope. Like it showed like the toddler getting into paint or whatever, and the mother shaking her head just like with that other mini preview, only a different scenario. But then it also showed that scenario with as the child got older and how she wanted to become a painter, like and her mother kept encouraging her or whatever. I forget like what it was. So I don't know if it literally means if your parenting will legitimately help the child's future, because like it really all depends on the traits that you choose to give them and what you do. So I don't know how that will affect. Though maybe their AI will be a little higher. Maybe in this game where if their parents say, oh, good job, or praise a certain action, the child will on their own more likely do that. Like, I don't know, that would be great if that was the case, because it would show a little more involvement on the Sims part. Like I know it's a game for you to play. Like I know you usually have to choose their actions. Like there's some randomness to it, but the point is for you to play it. But sometimes it'd be nice to know that the Sims have a mini mind of their own, that they actually can be their own person. Like it's a funny way. It gives them more personality. Like I'm not good with giving personalities to things, so I like to have a little bit of help towards that. Like, actually, I took a test, which there was a video on there, but what type of parent I'll be. Apparently, I'll be. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say it. You'll have to see the video, but I'm kind of laughing at the result a little bit, because I answered them all in my honest way. Like, how I would handle things. I mean, I randomly played the test again, just randomly choosing different answers, see what results there were. Anyway, after I actually did it fairly, honestly, I don't know whether the result I naturally got was quite me, but it might be more me than the other ones were. Actually, no, there was one other that I thought I would have gotten more of. But, it's what it is, so I don't know if there's options like that in the actual game, like, for you to be a certain type of parent to nurture them. Like, it's interesting. Let's just hope it doesn't make me more than likely to lose my kids. Like, that would be, well, actually, no, that would not be funny. But, I mean, it's funny, like, I guess parenthood is a decent name, but at the same time, I mean, because the point is parenting in a way. But it's kind of silly, too. Like, it's family doing stuff together. So, like, I probably would have given it a more family-oriented name. But as I said, like, the only thing is, if they have a lot of parenting, like, mechanics in this game, like, higher AI and known when to scald, for example, like, that's just an example, that I'm all for parenthood as a name. Because if the biggest mechanics is about parenting, then yeah, I see so. But as let's just hope that this game does add a lot to this game in general. Like, I said, right now, with how my system works, playing The Sims 3 is next to impossible. But personally, like, I gotta play The Sims 4 Parenthood first before I can give 100% of confirmation of what I would like better. But so far, from what it sounds, I probably still would like The Sims 3 Generations better, just because there's an aspect to the whole life, rather than just that one aspect. But there's a lot of other stuff there already for The Sims 4, so I might let that go. Like there's wedding options, and if you add mods, there's other options. But I want the game to be as. The thing is, I know nothing will be like. The thing is, The Sims 3 wasn't really perfect either. There were a lot of bugs, like especially with how it ran, but there were some golden gems for it. Same with The Sims 2. I suppose there's some golden gems for all the games. Like, I can't even think actually. The Sims 4 had a lot of good ones, but it's hard to think of the top of my head. Like, I suppose their toddlers are more realistic. If I can say anything. They made the toddlers of today's standard, which is good, and the interaction between the parent and toddler is pretty decent. Maybe too decent, though. Like, as I said, like every few seconds it's like, check on toddler, even if the toddler's right in front of you. But at least they don't abandon it. It's funny. I think it's easier to lose a baby than a toddler. Like, by CPS. Because, like, with the baby, like, the baby can't do anything for himself. And if one baby's crying and both parents are doing something, it takes seconds to lose the baby. I did. I lost one of the twins before. Like, when I had twins. But as that one thing though, I think The Sims 4 had improved on the prior installments were if something happens, you lose the one child that is neglected. Like if a baby is kind of low in needs, that baby will be whiffed away. But none of the other children will, unless they've all been equally neglected or something wrong. Where in The Sims 2 and the 3, no matter what, whether one child, all of them are gone. Like all the older ones that aren't teenagers. Anything below teenager will be taken. Babies, toddlers, children, gone. Like that. And like as I like, it's funny now my little mini rant on the games. But the thing is though, I never played Sims 1. And some of you might be like, oh my god, you didn't? No. And I don't know if I ever will. Because, like, for one, obviously that's something once I get into a mode of collecting, I get into it. For the most part. And right now, I'm still focusing on what I'm doing with Sims 4, possibly The Sims 2. Sims 3 is pretty much done because of how it works, too. But I did do a sort of a Let's Play on it and played it a little bit. I don't know how The Sims 1 would work. Maybe someday, a few years, when I know I can afford them, I might get 1, maybe 2 to try. But I don't know how that would work with my computer either. And the graphics are just... Like, I mean, there was a time where I said I wasn't going to play Sims 2 either. Because it was confusing me. And it got me upset. Like, I played it a little bit, but... did not work out. Like, at all at first, because I played it and it kept going. Yeah. But I forget what I was going to say. Like, maybe someday I'll make a video on what The Sims, the free prior mean to me. Because that's something I could really get into. Making a mini vlog about that and, like, my experience with it. Like, I honestly can't, like, it's hard to get thoughts straight. But anyway, guys, I was telling you, I'm pretty excited. There's different options so far, and there's a lot of activities they can do, like, build rockets, build different things, and they can do it as a family. I don't know if it's limited to doing it as a family, or you can do some of them on your own, too. But, anyway, that does sound exciting. So hopefully that will add more to the game when we get it on the 30th, which is Tuesday again. So I might get paid the week of, the week before the release. So that would be cool. So I'll be able to afford that. So anyway, guys, I'll see you in the next clip. I thought I'd warn you I'm recording a bit, but I'm not aiming it at anyone.
Yeah.
But wow. Can you believe it's been like, what, more than 7 years, because it's May. 7, almost 7.5. Oh, she's silly. Well, Mom, I see you have flowers from Janet. Well, you and Nanny and Nana. What type of flowers are they?
Well, Billy died in 2010, but Marjorie didn't die until 2011.
Yeah, Billy died before Nana did, because that's why I said she wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want her to be able to bury another son. But as Janet said, by the time Dad died, she could have been far into dementia,
Yeah, she lived in town.
or wherever it was dementia or Alzheimer's. I forget what it was.
Did you do your business?
Who?
Did you finish?
Oh.
Did you say your prayers?
Well, I'll say I love you. Don't know much about prayers. Up to Winnie. What are you doing? Nothing while I'm in there, obviously. Go play. Are you going to play? Oh, what's that? What's that? Good. Hi. Goof. Go on. Go on again. Oh. Ooh, you got it. You're goof. You're goof. You're goof. Are you gonna play? Gonna play? Oh, you gonna play? Whee! Tricks! Hey guys! Well, I gotta get the light, but it is Saturday the 20th of May. This is just the ending part of the vlog. Yeah, I am as crappy as hell. Well, something else happened. I may be slower at making videos for one, the way I'm feeling, because we have this in the room. It makes the room cooler, but it causes me bad allergies or whatever. And also, something happened last night that, I was too upset to record it. It would have been a genuine reaction, but see that little red tape right there? Well, there's more on the back of this. I moved the monitor, it cracked, and it wouldn't even connect. My aunt had to tape it and put it in a certain position for the monitor would come back on and work. So I'll do an update video on this as well, because it is due. Because you might not see, I might not be able to make more videos for a little bit because I have to be careful, one, with it, and two, it might eventually have to go to the shop, but I might make a second update to let you know if it does. The thing is, I don't know how much it'll take to repair that, so that's something we're going to have to diddle-dally with. But yeah, guess I made the mistake by carrying it by the monitor. Shouldn't have done that. I've done it only a few times, really. Wasn't over bad. But that's what did it. Well, I learned my lesson about that, for sure. And then I'm probably not even going to use it much on the bed anymore. It gives me incentive to go to the desk. Like, this is the only way it works, and even then, I have to be careful. But anyway, I'll see you in the next clip.